In this video, we will take a look at just a few of the many ways I can adapt Black Shield ID so that as my security policies evolve, I can continue to optimize logon experience and win high-end user acceptance, integrate and automate processes within my normal workflow, allowing me to concentrate on other IT priorities, and of course, generate detailed reports and audit trails so that I can analyze and prove the effectiveness of my policies to internal stakeholders and external auditors. The challenge of developing a security and compliance policy is finding the optimum balance between often competing interests. These are security. Just how much security is enough now and in the foreseeable future as new threats, regulations, and best practices evolve? Assimilation. What can my end users and administrators readily accept and use with little or no negative impact on service delivery, usability, and time? And finally, cost. What is the impact on my budget, considering both the hard costs of purchasing product and maintenance and the soft costs of provisioning, administration, and help desk functions? Strike the wrong balance, and the result is suboptimal security, degraded usability, or excessive and unexpected costs. To this challenge, I can add the certain knowledge that I will have to adjust my policies as new services come online, new threats and regulations emerge, and other IT priorities put a strain on my budget. So the first feature we'll look at is LDAP Preauth. LDAP Preauth lets me integrate Black Shield ID authentication with authorization policies such as account status, access restrictions, and group memberships that I've already established in LDAP. This has three important benefits for me. Using LDAP Preauth, any changes that are made in LDAP to user access rights and authorizations are immediately reflected and applied in Black Shield ID. This means there is no security gap or delay between the time I apply a change, such as an account suspension in LDAP, and its enforcement by Black Shield ID. As a result, Black Shield ID eliminates provisioning and authorization gaps and delays and solves one of the most prevalent and difficult to remedy reasons for failing an external compliance audit. Secondly, I don't need to create or duplicate authorization policies and group memberships in Black Shield that already exist in LDAP. This prevents errors and omissions in account management and means that if my normal workflow process is to have human resources create and manage user accounts in LDAP, I can continue to use this process. There's no need to have me or my team involved, allowing me, again, to concentrate on other priorities. I can associate LDAP authorizations such as group membership with the IP addresses of network access points. This means that while all users may be valid on Black Shield, if their group memberships do not satisfy the requirements of the VPN, portal, application, or access point, their access will be denied. Because Black Shield ID can accommodate varying authentication and authorization requirements at different network access points, it has the necessary flexibility and functionality to provide enterprise-wide authentication. The second feature is management by exception and automatic alerts. Management by exception is the notion that I should not have to monitor Black Shield ID or analyze reports to identify when a security policy threshold has been exceeded or to detect attacks such as brute force or denial of service. Instead, Black Shield ID should automatically respond to security events by taking preventative actions and alerting me to the situation. One such example is the account lock and unlock policy. With this policy, I can set the maximum number of consecutive failed logons after which Black Shield ID will take the preventative action of automatically locking the user account and generating an alert to me, my help desk, or even the end user. My policy could instruct Black Shield ID to automatically unlock the account after a defined period of time has elapsed, and, as with locking, send an alert message. By tuning the lock thresholds, lock duration, and alerts, I can optimize the user logon experience, handle legitimate user logon failures with little or no impact on my help desk, and detect and mitigate threats such as brute force and denial of service attacks. The third area is token management. In most systems, tokens are restricted to generating no more than 1 million passcodes because of the limitation of the 6-digit display. And while a PIN is usually thought of as the second factor to prevent unauthorized use of the token, the reality is that it must also supplement the relative weakness of the 6-digit passcode. The negative outcome of adopting the use of a 6-digit passcode can be dramatic. For example, if my security policies require or evolve to mandate the use of alphanumeric passcodes, then my only option is to force users to remember complex, long alphanumeric PINs, in much the same way I used to demand that they remember and periodically change complex passwords. In this case, I can anticipate incurring the same problems with PIN resets as I used to have with password resets, along with the corresponding impact on my help desk. With Black Shield ID, I'm not limited to 6-digit passcodes, though I could start there if I wish. That's because I can modify the behavior of the tokens so that they will generate up to 8-character token codes comprised of any combination of numbers, numbers and letters, or numbers, letters, and punctuations for up to 32 billion possible passcodes per token. The positive outcome of adopting and using Black Shield ID tokens is I can adapt the function of the tokens as my policy evolves to require even greater one-time password strength and satisfy external auditors. By using the token instead of the user to do the heavy lifting to get the more secure passcodes, I can predict far fewer logon failures, fewer PIN resets, and a minimal demand on my help desk. And even better, I can evolve my policy without having to replace or make further investments in my authentication service. The next feature we're going to look at today is Black Shield ID's support for multiple user data sources. Because many organizations want to extend authentication to external users, such as contractors and business partners that do not have LDAP accounts, Black Shield ID allows these to be created and managed in a SQL database, including the creation of group memberships and access restrictions. The outcome is that a single Black Shield ID can provide simultaneous authentication services for both LDAP and non-LDAP accounts. Finally, it's important to be able to audit and analyze authentication activity. With Black Shield ID, virtually all server activity is recorded in both logs and databases. This includes authentication history, token history, and operator activity. Logging can be output to a file or event viewer and is easily added to third-party log analysis tools such as Splunk. By databasing history and activity, it's easy to generate reports using either Black Shield's built-in reports or any third-party reporting tool that supports SQL. This has been a brief overview of some of the policy and compliance features in Black Shield ID. We invite you to contact us or your local authorized Black Shield ID reseller to discuss how these and other features of Black Shield can meet your unique requirements, free up your time for other priorities, and minimize your total cost of ownership. Thank you.